Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you happen to be joining us in the world today. Hope you brought your raincoats. We are at a rainy Le Mans. Got some Porsche Cup action for you now. Qualifying is just starting to take place. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. We got no TC, no ABS. It's these CMS IRTES drivers attempt to put down some laps. Got Gab Chavez here, and his white, red, black, really nice paint scheme on his 992. Is really this first lap out just gonna have to maintain. Don't need any off tracks, don't need any silly mistakes, but you're gonna try and work some tire temperature, some tire pressure, as well as brake temperature into those calipers. See our cameras still up and working in the wet, but wouldn't want to be a cameraman out there today. It actually looks like it's not raining this part. Okay, still drizzling just a little bit, but Le Mans, as big as it is, matter of fact, seeing the race info, track length 8.4 miles. Quite a long track, as that'll give something for these drivers to work with. Lots of passing opportunities. See two chicanes down that long Mulsanne straight. Oh, I cannot wait for this race to eventually kick off as we have some surprises for you today in the broadcast. As I'll keep those a little bit hidden until later on. Matter of fact, I will show you something new with Stamp Studio Network. We do have Google Earth coming on board to give a great overhead shot at Le Mans. Not in the wet today, but see a nice 360 view of the track. There's the starting line, starting grid right there. Pretty packed house in that Google shot. Should be a packed house today as rain will not affect our cardboard cutout fans. Go down our name list here. Looks like, oh, Donald. Looks like he just came off track. Or went off track. We are going to see quite a bit of that today, I'm afraid. Easy to do here in the wet. They do have wet tires available to them as well. A little bit of tread to them compared to just the slicks that they would be running. Donald, we got Enrico, and then Jarrett Skinner at 96. 992. Ooh, oh, papaya colors got going. Like to thank our sponsors, Masterworks, Xbox Game Pass, Penguin RC, all of you coming on board. Giving Champion Motorsports really what they deserve. These drivers are champions taking on Le Mans in the wet, especially in the Porsche. You got Mark Johnson there out of Texas. I'm just noting one lap is really going to be available to these guys, if even. Check out that timer, just now hitting 5 minutes. That's going to end the session. Chad Henson. My gosh, the highest I rating in the field. The only driver to put down a lap. Holy smokes. Well, okay. Not sure really what happened there. We'll go to the race grid. You just mentioned it, Chad Henson. There with that 417. Really the only driver to put down a lap. Mark Johnson will be starting on that outside. Lucas Haller, he will be one to watch. Starting P3. Gab Chavez, P4. Donald Sepek, P5. Eric Bueno, P6 in that 666. Enrico G, P7, that 285. And then P8, Rodney Campbell. P9, James Andrew. P10, David Anderson. P11, Jarrett Skinner. P12, Mike Tyler. P13, David Nelson. And P14, Dan Fendick. See, the flyover already commenced. Don't know how they got clearance in this weather, but I guess our aerial footage is still active. So it's not raining too bad down there, but I think we're still going to see quite a few spins today. Chad Henson there. I believe that's an Imperial paint scheme. That really nice blue and orange contrasting colors. Mark Johnson there's going to be starting P2. Seems to be a standing start in the rain. If you joined us yesterday, we had a rolling start with orange flag. Don't say too much about it if you like to go back and watch it for yourself. Hopefully just a little bit cleaner this time by. This looks like just waiting on one more driver. We got drivers from all over the world here today. The United States, Canada, England, Ireland, and even Germany. iRatings all over as well. Chad Henson, that 4,300. Rating down to about 1,300. Sounds like the engines are getting ready. Green flag is out and away we go. Field is going to be in Chad Henson's hands. C2 wide, about midway through the pack. Mark Johnson making that move to the outside line. Going to get a little bit better run into turn one. Very, very nice slow start from these drivers, especially in the rain. Any little bit of paint, any little rumble strip can throw you off the racing line. So Lucas already lost 3 spots. Just crawling, got Gab Chavez here. So he gets ready to come down the Mulsanne straight. We ride on board, show you just how damp this track is. This is what I wanted to present to the fans. We are on board live with Gab Chavez as he has provided us with a GoPro feed of his point of view. You see him hunting down Mark Johnson for P2 right in front of him. Gonna see if he can get the car slowed down, downshifted into the first chicane. Seems to be okay. You got Enrico. Oh, Enrico spinning right behind him. Saw that in the mirror shot of Gab Chavez. We're gonna stick on board here. This is too cool. Really show you just how realistic this is for some of these drivers. Look at Gab, he can't see anything coming down the Mulsanne. Top 3 starting to break away just a little bit. Lucas made his way back into P4. Saw him get a little bit squirrely on exit there. Then Jarrett making a move on Eric already. Nice move. Really nice paint schemes here. Champion Motorsports. Whoa, we're going to go too wide in the rain. Watch out. And Eric Bueno. Of course, this is CMS. They're going to respect each other. Rodney Campbell, our one and only Canadian driver today, getting a front row seat to that action. Decided to join us on Stam Studio Network. Say something in the chat as I'll shout you out. Give us your pick for today's race. Is Chad Johnson still out about half a second lead? 3 minutes to go, or 3 minutes so far, this 30-minute race. Really good battles all throughout the field. Got James, Andrew. Looks like Dan right there behind him. Hounding him for that P12 spot. It's so slick. It can really, whoa, right as I say that. Enrico again. Enrico losing 7 spots from that little bit of an incident early on. Battle for the lead, still continuing to heat up, or really for second. Gab Chavez back here. I have to do this again. This is just... Make his way through the Porsche curve, now the Ford chicane. To complete our first lap in the wet Le Mans. Really? Not as many crashes as I thought we'd see. Really one spin. That happened to be it. Look at Gab. Shh, fight. Fight the wheel in that Porsche. And to compare the two shots here. Check this out. iRacing, such a great job at simulating everything that there is within racing. You see, within this next season, they're actually going to add terrain back onto the track. Say if you go off into the gravel, fling that gravel back on track, fling grass back on track, make it even more slick for these drivers. Behind you is, check out this shot. Oh, I can't get enough of this. Gab still there in the slipstream, but Chad able to pull away to 1.6 second gap under these drivers, possibly even taking away their slipstream opportunities. Dang, just hopped off board with them. Gab gonna make a move. Let's see what it looks like. He's clear. Made that move with the slipstream down the backstretch. Rodney Campbell, Derek Cepek still going at it. Breaking Bad Racing. What a team name. Love that. David Anderson out of Champion Motorsports. Really nice profile picture there. That Bell helmet. That'll keep you safe. Hope you're wearing it now. You're might need it in the rain. David Nelson, Mike Tyler. Whoa! Is Mike gonna make a move down the inside? Oh, got on the rumble strips. Gonna lose a bit of traction, but actually going to make the move stick. David Nelson, then James Andrew behind Dan Fendick, 12th still. Lucas, what has gone wrong? Don't see much damage. Don't see Lucas really ever going off track in my feet. Oh, he did enter the pits. Lucas with a incident, possibly jumped the... Let's ride on board with him for the start. Does he go early? No. See Lucas. Okay, a little bit of contact with Enrico. Making their way into turn 1 here. I see him being super careful. Not really anything to present an issue, but yeah, he started, you saw there, 3rd, already dropped down to 13th. Or if we just stuck around with him a little bit more, we'd possibly see what happens, but man, he's struggling for grip. So I'm sure all of these drivers are. Chad down, his lead is now cut down to 0.8 seconds. Don't believe these drivers have a fuel stop under them today. Still hard fight for second, but we did see Gab make that move on Mark. Something also new. Or Stamp Studio Network. Movable gyro cams. Whoa! See some sparks maybe fly out the back of Mark Johnson's Porsche. Looking back at Jarrett Skinner here. So sure, we have onboard shots. But it's not going to... Thought we were going to get another great shot at the driver there, but you can see just how much curb Jarrett's able to use in the wet. Really more than I was thinking he was able to. Careful running that paint. Look at the different lines that these drivers run too. Jarrett getting way closer to that left apex. Really just searching for any grip available. This is going to be tight. That did not warrant a slowdown. That was close though. Zero blimp cam, that's just not. Way too rainy. Misty here at Le Mans. Looks like the rain is not going to let up anytime soon. Closest battle on track between Gab and Mark Johnson here. Jarrett and Rodney right behind him. Throw a blanket between second and fifth. Second, fourth. So while we have a sec, you see our battles going on for, I'll call it the lead, but Chad, back out to that 0.8 gap. David Anderson up 3 spots since the start of the race, up P7. And Mike Tyler right there behind him, P4, or 4 spots up since the start of the race, and also David Nelson up 4 spots. Mike Tyler almost trying to size David Anderson up. Kind of thought better of it going into the chicane. James Andrew only minus a spot since the start of the race. And Donald Cepek, Dan Fendick, 1.6 behind him. Lucas, 3.3 behind Dan. And then Enrico, 17 seconds back. This fight for second, third is still going on. 12 minutes into the race. We're almost halfway. Just a quick 30-minute race. Know some drivers that are racing this race, and also in our next CMS race right after this, going to be GT3s around Le Mans in the wet. Team race. I know quite a few drivers from this race that'll be doing it, including myself. Be racing that Porsche 992 GT3. Get some TC, some AVS under me. Something about the bigger tracks, like, well, Le Mans is way bigger than Daytona, but I was going to reference the longer straights and the slipstream ability that these drivers have. Sure, these kind of tight chicanes can present passing opportunities, gapping opportunities as well as they make their way up and through the Porsche curves. In the wet, do not envy that. However, that draft will keep them kind of right with each other, as we've seen this top 4 still contending with one another. Chad Johnson. Looks like he's better in certain parts of the track. Others, Gab, Jarrett, and Mark are able to get right back on his rear bumper. Make their way through the forward chicanes now. This is just one lockup, one slip away for any of these drivers running in the top 4. Rodney Campbell, ooh. Eric Bueno, big loose behind him. Then David Anderson. Oh, a little train behind David. Mike, David Nelson, and James Andrew shown behind him. Some nice static shots of these Porsches make their way around. It's actually raining here in real life for me, so it kind of makes it feel a bit more realistic. Speaking of realistic, if you would like to drive this Porsche 992 Cup car against NASCAR Cup car, be sure to get with me. Season beginning January 4th, running through February 8th, 10 p.m. GMT. Come battle it out with that NASCAR Next Gen Cup car, as really more similarities between the two that you would think. So look at David Nelson, James Andrew, and Donald Cepek all in this draft. Lucas only 0.4 back. So now they kind of have a pack of their own. Oh, this may get a little, oh, as big as that pack was into the chain. Oh, Donald goes off the track. Gonna lose a tremendous amount of time to get that righted. Oh, we see why he is a champion motorsports driver. Gonna have to take another look at that. Oh. Donald there in that blue. Oh, Donald's in the yellow and blue. And then he just kind of gets caught up in this, nowhere to go. Who is that in that? Okay, that's David Nelson in that baby blue themed Porsche. So he kind of, let's take another look at this. It seemed like that mint and white car of James Andrew. Does he lock up? See David trying to make a move to the inside, and then, yeah, gets tagged by, looks like James Andrew after a little bit of a lockup. David Nelson gets tagged from Donald Cepek. And then Donald, off into the woods he goes. Where he stops, nobody knows. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, that's a loss of at least 20, 30 seconds as I see Enrico go by. Donald running last place now. That's also going to be a slowdown cutting through those barrels. So really unfortunate turn of events for Donald. Had pace. Speaking of guys having pace, this battle for the lead. Papaya colors going at it of Jarrett Skinner got by Gab. We'll take a look at how that happened. Our replay brought to you by Stam Studio Network. Around the outside into a chicane. Oh, what a move, and uses the rumble strips. Asserting the pass. Yeah, looks like Chad, maybe a little bit of damage to his rear bumper. Some bumper cars going on between these front running Porsches. Ooh, really aggressive on those curbs. See, if I were to do that, I'm spinning out. But these drivers showing what they're capable of. Riding on board with Jarrett. Looking back at Gab and then Mark Johnson. Rodney falling back a little bit between this pack now, 4.5 seconds. Ooh, that was tough. That was close. See Mark not jumping in the slipstream just yet. Maybe just trying to make a shorter way around. Mulsanne, but going to get to the inside. Okay. See how this works for Mark. Not sure if Gab just burnt his stuff up too early or what, but yeah, that's gonna lose another spot. But now back to where he started the race in P4. As we were on board, Jarrett Skinner has made that pass for the lead. Oh man, sorry we missed that live, but we will definitely take another look. Here he comes down the Mulsanne, side by side. Looks like Chad really, yeah, he's not gonna force it down the inside. Chad knows better of it. Jarrett Skinner out front here at Champion Motorsports. Wow, 1,600 I rating compared to Chad's 4,300. Would have never expected that. Chad gives him a shot down the straight. Just 10 minutes to go left in this race. Whoa! Chad's got to be pushing, but trying to learn everything that he can from Jarrett, trying to see what Chad's doing wrong. Flashing the lights. Trying to distract Jarrett. Make maybe just a slight lockup into the next corner. Continue to ride on board with Jarrett Skinner. Chad just waiting for the right moment, like a shark circling you in the ocean. Oh my gosh, this is tremendous racing between these front two drivers. Yeah, big. I say big. A slight damage to the rear of Chad. Still trying to flash Jarrett. Maybe get him guessing into the next corner. But Jarrett looks like he has some tremendous speed off the exits compared to Chad. Surprised nobody's tagged that outside wall there going into the Porsche curves, as I alone do that in the wet, or I mean the dry. See, this is what I referenced earlier. Chad is just quicker in some sections of the track. This last section really not being one of them. As Jarrett now is pulled away to almost a second gap. If you're Chad, you can't let that kind of frighten you too much, knowing that you're faster in certain sectors. Ooh, not a good exit there for Chad, but you can see Chad is faster in those 2, 3, 4 sectors. Or excuse me, yeah, Chad. But unfortunately, comparing that to Jarrett, only faster so far, sector 4, 5, 6, 7. Compare the lap times, however. Chad just about a second slower each time by. See that gap now really presenting itself, Chad. That nasty exit off the last turn of the track. Really zero traction for him. Allows Jarrett to kind of pull away. Back on board with Gab Chavez. Let's take a look at what this driver can't see, what these drivers can't see. Is that mist thrown up all over the windscreen? If I didn't know any better, I really would have thought that I was looking at a real-life camera shot in that bottom right. So you hit 5th, gonna get up to 6th gear here and then brake it about, I know in the dry 200, wet, when I was practicing for this upcoming race in the GT3, I was still about 50 meters earlier than the 200. See where Gab brakes here. There's the 300, there's the 200 there. Yeah, about that 200 still. So we've seen how this looks down the straight, but I want to stay on board with Gab. See how much he is able to fight or off the car wanting to spin out from underneath him, as we've seen, oh gosh, David, Mike, and Rico looks like involved in an accident. We'll take a look in just a second. Look at Gab, cut that apex just a bit more, gets a really good run there on Mark Johnson in front of him. Is he going to make a move? Or do we see him wait with just 5 minutes to go in the race? Oh, there he goes down the inside. He's still there, side by side. What an amazing shot, as you can now see him in that left camera, now in the rear view. Coming into a hard left braking zone. Going to be super hard not to overdrive that. Both drivers do a tremendous job. Next, coming into a hard 90-degree right. Going to need, very important to get this exit down, as this is a long straightaway coming up. Take a look at that David Nelson incident just happened. Two drivers going at it for P11. Ooh, there's the rumble strips that I referenced. David's going to get on him, spin him around. Enrico makes it through. Does David collect anybody else? That's a bad spot to be slow, but gets it going. So the Mike Tyler incident was completely separate. Whoa. I was a little late, but looks like Mike, huge damage to his Porsche. Oh! Whoa, Mike, okay. I see what happened there. You locked up. Looks like we're about to go into David Anderson out of all people. And I'll tell you right now, I don't blame you for putting it into the wall there like that. Oh my gosh. For those of you at home that may not know, David Anderson, the league owner, essentially, of CMS. So, well, Mike, I really applaud that, man. Not taking anybody else out with you is just a really easy mistake to make with that lockup. Oh man, and then yeah, I see him hard into the wall there. Let's go one more time. Yeah, that's already late on the lockup, and then obviously does not want to get into the back of David Anderson. Does a great job at getting it slowed down through the gravel. And then, yeah, just along for the ride at that moment, so. Closest battle on track now between Mark and Gab. They've been at it all day. But with only 27 minutes out of 30 to go, see where our leader Jarrett's at here on track. Don't believe he's taken the white flag just yet, if my quick math's out. Math is not my strong suit, so it's okay. You can come for me in the YouTube chat. Looks like Enrico, that lime green. Lime green Porsche. Gets on that paint, and there's just nothing you can do at that point. Not at all. Gets it righted, though. Going the right way. David Nelson and Donald Sepek going at it. Oh, right behind Enrico. Just on board with. David, it's unfortunate for him because he's had the pace today, just involved in, I believe, 2 incidents. That's really going to hurt your pace. Stacy, we see you out there. CMS rocks. Yes, indeed it does. The owners, the drivers, the sponsors, everything about it. So we've seen Jarrett crawl out to the lead now. Mark Johnson making a move on Gab for P3. Looks like Jarrett should be coming around, take the white flag next time by. CMS rocks, CMS rolls. CMS has close racing throughout the field. Even within the rain, 30 minutes into a race. Last time today, right on board with Gab Chavez. Thought he was almost going to get in the bumper of Mark, but going to stay within it. Gotta be careful on those rumble strips on entry. Oh, Mark's going to go a little wide in front. Back to the straight they go. Now over 30 minutes on the clock. White flag should definitely be coming out. Gab very close to making a move in the wet Porsche curves, something it's extremely hard to do, even within the dry. Does Gab make a move? Or is he just a little bit too far back? Oh, Gab's possibly going to get a slowdown running on those rumble strips. As Jarrett is coming it to the checkered flag. That's going to solidify it in the rain. Get around this last turn. Jarrett Skinner conquers Le Mans in the wet, in the rain, in a car with 0 TC, 0 ABS. Chad able to make his way back to P2. Mark Johnson going to come around P3. Gab Chavez almost passing him for P4. Again, could throw a blanket over those top 4 throughout the whole race. Rodney Campbell, that Breaking Bad Racing. Eric Bueno, Lucas Haller, P7. James Andrew going to come across the line, P8. Ooh, little bit of damage to his nose. Saw him involved in incident or 2. David Anderson. And crawl through those last chicanes. Going to bring it home, P9. Enrico, his lime green Porsche Cup car, P10. David Nelson right behind, P11. Donald Sepek, P12, right across the line. Gonna shut it down. So I'm sure these drivers are gonna just hop right into the next session for IRTES. Apex Racing TV, that's, I believe, an hour, 2.5 hour long race. Come join us over here. Dan Findit gonna finish P13, and Mike Tyler in the back gonna finish P14. Little bit of damage, it looks like, to the nose. Maybe that was just the matte black. Stacy, you said it best, man. That is skill right there for Jarrett Skinner. I'm gonna see if I can hop within the CMS race chat, see if I can possibly talk to some of these guys. I know we have Gab with us already. Maybe I'll talk with him first. Hey, Gab, you got a copy?
Hey, man.
Hey, congrats on the P4. That was so super cool to be riding on board with you throughout.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm going to have to check out the broadcast later.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on board with us and doing that. how was the race? It looks like you kind of started struggling for grip about midway through, or
Uh, no, not really. I mean, I was expecting, of course, to have less grip, but I just overshoot some corners. Just trying to, try to maximize speed. But yeah, I overshoot them and I fucked it up then.
oh man, it that was so cool because you had so much pace within that top four for pretty much the whole race. So
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
well, you
So did it work, right?
oh yeah, this works flawlessly. Yeah, thanks again. Hopefully, able to do this with us next time, and maybe have a few other drivers that decide to do
Yeah,
this
for
with
sure. I
us.
would love that. How was the image quality?
Oh, man, perfect. It's I think I said within the broadcast if I wasn't like knowing that was iRacing, looking at that, I think it was real life. So,
Oh, awesome.
um,
All right, man.
all right. Well, appreciate you talking with me for a sec. I'm gonna catch the race winner and take care, man.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Jarrett Skinner, our race winner. Congratulations, man. Looks like we got Chad Henson P2. You guys got a copy?
Hear me now?
Oh man, there's the race winner.
Hello.
Jarrett, man, that was so super cool to see you. I mean, you started what, P11, P10 on the grid, come back to first place. You walk me through
Yeah, it was.
how you did it?
Uh, I don't know. I just tried to stay smooth, and I practiced a little bit for this one, so I was kind of ready for the rain.
Man, that yeah, taking it from your 1,600 I rating to Chad 4,300. Quite the comparison between the two. So that's pretty special to see you come away with the win here today. Help you in that points standings as well.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
How was the grip levels out there? Did it improve once the race started, or just kind of just nothing there since the start of the race?
I felt like I had more grip in the beginning than I did toward the end, and
Really?
it could have just been my driving. I don't know. It felt a little bit slipperier, and maybe I was just being a little overly cautious.
No, I got you. Well, yeah. Congratulations again on the win, and hopefully we see you do it again next time in the dry, I believe.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Chad, you in the broadcast booth with us? You got a copy? She's here, just a little bit of difficulties, but Chad, great run for P2. I just want to take a second and thank you. Chad's helped me a lot with my graphics overlays and making sure everything's up and running correctly. So, real quick shout out to Chad, everybody at CMS, David Anderson. Congrats again, Jared, on the win. This has been Sean Stam, Stam Studio Network.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys.